This is the Professor, and this is the Improvised Buck Saw Trial 2. Now, Sergeant Mac, as a professor, I should know to read the instructions before actually starting on a project. So the other day, I read improvise a bow saw and a buck saw, and that's just what I did. I did it my way. So today, I am going to do it the proper way, and so this buck saw is going to be made out of these materials. I've got my saw blade, and my only tool is my Mora. So we're going to first of all get in here and get some vertical pieces. I see a vertical piece here that is going to be one vertical for my buck saw, and I'm going to cut that off here only using a snake bashing club and my Mora. Now, the other day I used my bow saw for that, which worked, but of course the object here is not just to make something that works, but to do it with a minimum number of tools. So assuming I'm out here in the bush someplace, I've got to cut this off using the tools that I got, and the only tool that I got is my Mora. And so we're going to get this cut off of there, work our way around and get that cut off of there smooth as if we cut it with that bow saw, and maybe faster, because the bow saw, while smooth, is not your fastest cutting implement. And so there we have the first cut, and it is pretty smooth, and so the Mora does a good job of cutting that off. I've already got this other end marked here, so we're going to cut it off the same way, and in a minute or two we'll be back ready to move on to the next phase. Got the first piece made. See, the Mora cuts that off pretty smoothly. Now I want to get the second upright piece. Not in here. Now these are a little bit nasty looking, and of course these are previously cut, so in order to make sure that we do everything according to Hoyle here, we're going to mark this out and cut this off here, and we'll use this as our scientific marking system. Okay, and so what we'll do is cut our second piece out of there. That'll make the second upright. So just like before, we'll whack that off here with our Mora and baton. Get back to you when we get that done. Okay guys, if we're still on here, notice that we're getting this horizontal piece in here now. Get that fit up. Looks like I can make it out of that piece alright. Gotta let the blade come through there and come out the other side. Gotta make sure that we allow here, so I'm gonna go ahead and start getting this pared down a little bit. Best angle I can get in here. Probably better to be a little closer to this than to this for stability. So I'll go ahead and get a wedge shaped piece there and get back to you. Okay, now notice here that I got this kind of a wedge shaped cut here, like a chisel, which is going to fit in there. Now I've got to do the corresponding one up on this end. Make sure that those match so that they fit in there. Get this about the right size to go together. So we've got our official pencil here, our charcoal pencil. And so I think that if we go ahead and Let's cut that about in there. We ought to be able to get that to go together. Club right when I need it. Okay, now the last time I did this, first thing that happened was I split out my vertical piece and then I wrapped wire around it, but that required a pair of pliers, which was a tool that I really wasn't allowed to have. So for this version, what I've done here is just wrapped some thin cord around here, and then I'm going to go ahead and split this. The object here is to not split it too far, just enough to get the saw blade in, not enough to split this on out. But by wrapping it first, I think I'll hold this wood together enough so that it won't split on down through there. I just don't want to split so far as to start cutting my cord off of here. But once again, I've got this marked so that I can get my saw blade in there and get that straight. And I've got a mark here. So the object now is to do this gently and not split it too much. Because once that starts to split, it can go too far. But the wrapping, the object of the wrapping is to hold that together. And I think that's enough to get my saw blade in. Okay, now I'm gonna get that blade in there. I'm gonna need something to hold that on. I'm gonna use some split rings that I've got. So let me get those. I think I'm gonna put those on the blade first. Here. Okay guys, here is the finished product of the buck saw, trial number 2. Notice here that the slip rings, I like those better. The other day I used nails. They stuck out and they were sharp and they could hurt you. This works well. Another thing that worked well is to bind this tight with some cord before you drive through here and split this. And then once this is split, then just drive the saw blade, tap it down in there with the baton so that you don't open this split up too much. And then these rings kind of hold that, and I cut little notches in here so that this couldn't shift out of there. Pretty much the same deal on both ends. So I'm liking this better. Another thing that's way better is that I ended up with a nice straight piece up through the center of this. The other day I just used a piece that was green and it was real limber, and so the more tension I put on the windlass up here, this started to bend, so that's not so good. What I want to do now is to give the first test of the saw, and so we'll cut some bits of hickory here and just see how the whole saw works. But sometimes may have to tighten it up a little bit. May not have enough tension. Actually, not bad though. Uh-oh, we've got a little shift in here that we got to be a little careful of. We have to tension this a little bit more, Ryan. Tap this. Tap that together. Got a little bit of wiggle. Give me another twist there, can you? Got one more. Can you do it? Don't let that come loose, man. That'll hurt you. And there
Try taking a piece off the thick side. Try taking a piece off the thick side.
Okay, that'll work. And move your knife down. Oops. Switch sides here with you. And so the improvised buck saw take 2 does work, and it cuts through that wood rather nicely. This is the professor, and I'll see you soon.